pleasure and honor to be your moderator on this afternoon. We're getting ready to start the state of the power of the people. All power to the people. All power to the people. Now listen, as we get started, I want you to understand something. Not only is this a national tour from city to city, but this was a charge that was given. And some of you have been given charges by God to start something, initiate something, create something, provide something. And we don't do it because we're worried about not having all the resources. Well, guess what? You may not always have all the resources. And you may not always have the support that you think you need from the people you think you need it from. But I'm going to tell you, if you got God and you got a few good people, I said a few. Because one thing's for sure, two things for certain. We don't need everybody. We just need the right bodies. There are a lot of people taking up space in powerful positions, but they hold no power. So today, we're talking about the first 100 days and how they are affecting our communities, how they're affecting our families. I lost my mother. She died at Sinai Grace Hospital because they wanted to treat her like a test dummy. My father committed suicide the day after Thanksgiving, suffering from mental illnesses and challenges. My brother was murdered in prison in the Michigan Department of Corrections by correctional officers. And they told me my brother committed suicide, but there was no sign of a suicide. He had indentments in his wrists. He had indentments in his waist. And he had indentments in his ankles. What does that mean? Thank you. So I'm not standing here to look cute, even though I do. I don't look like what I've been through. I'm the oldest of 7. I lived on 8280 Carlin off Joy Road and Schaefer. I'm a McKinsey graduate, Charles R. Drew Middle School, McFarland Elementary School. So I'm a real D girl, baby. And I named my son Tayshawn after Tayshawn Prince. So let's go. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Let's go. So with that being said, all power to the people. I want you to turn to your neighbor and say, I love you. Turn to your other neighbor and say, I love you too. Turn to the person behind you and say, I love you too. Because that's the kind of love that we need to be giving to each other. Okay? So we're getting ready to have some welcome remarks and prayer from some amazing dynamic faith leaders right here in the city of Detroit. And that first individual that I'm bringing up is the one and only Reverend Cindy Rudolph.
Good afternoon, everybody. All right, let us begin by inviting God in. Let's pray. God, we honor you, we thank you, and we praise your name for allowing us to gather here today. We ask, God, that you would be with us, that everything that we do and say would be pleasing in your sight. Help us, God, to do that which is necessary to uplift our communities. God, you know what's going on in our nation and around the world. But we pray, God, that you would help us to strategize in a way that brings you glory and that uplifts our people. And we ask it in the name of our redeeming Savior. And together we say amen. So let me say this, beloved. As we, God's sun-kissed children, can everybody hear me? All right, I just want to make sure. As we, God's sun-kissed children, traverse through trials and tribulations of these trying times, as we attempt to keep calm amidst chaotic and catastrophic conundrums, many of us have begun to feel anxious, afraid, angry, and even depressed. And I get it. It's hard not to be concerned when we feel like we're living in a dystopian alternate universe, a world where the wrong are made strong and where the upright are being uprooted, where the marginalized and disenfranchised are demonized and ostracized. The wealthy are set up to gain more wealth. Affordable care is in despair. Diversity and equity is met with enmity. Me Too is almost through, and racism is celebrated, demonstrated, promulgated, and proliferated. And what amazes me is that as bad as many of us expected things to get under this new administration, it feels like we are fast forwarding in a way that is far worse. As much as we said this man was a threat to democracy, we never imagined that he would completely bypass Congress and govern in executive orders that would kidnap immigrants, that would imprison them as well, that would gut the Department of Education, that would eliminate civil rights protections, that would relentlessly attack DEI, and that would institute inflation-inducing tariffs, and so much more. Beloved, last night, as many of us slept, congressional leaders in D.C. met under the dark of night to negotiate a proposed budget which is evil in nature and cruel beyond words. If passed, this budget will significantly cut funding for essential programs like SNAP, which provides food for needy families, and Medicaid, which provides health care for those who are economically challenged. And while they cut essential and life-preserving funding, they are also seeking to preserve and make permanent tax cuts for billionaires and wealthy people who already have more than they will ever need. Beloved, what we are witnessing is nothing short of ungodly. And the worst part is, many of the facilitators of these ungodly policies call themselves Christians. But clearly they have not read the word of God, which says that the Lord requires us to do justice, love mercy, and walk humbly with our God. Clearly they have not studied the teachings of Jesus Christ, who told us that as much as you have done unto the least of these, so you have done unto me. But in spite of all of that, as a woman of faith, I still believe that God stands with the marginalized and the disenfranchised. I still believe that the first shall be last and the last shall be first. I still believe that we are called to make a meaningful impact in the name of the Lord. And with that in mind, this is not the time for us to rest on our laurels, but this is the time for us to fight and to speak up and to let our voices be heard. It's time for each and every one of us to call our elected officials, not just the ones we know, but the ones who are supporting these harmful policies. We need to call them and tell them where we stand, but that's not all. You see, at my church, Oak Grove AME Church in the city of Detroit, we have committed to teaching civics. We have held community-wide civics training for the last 3 months because during the previous election cycle, it became painfully obvious that so many people in this nation do not know how the government works. So if you have a clear understanding of civics, make sure that you are sharing it with the people in your community. And another thing that we have to do as people of God is make sure that we teach our young people how to think critically. You see, because there is so much misinformation and disinformation out there that some people are being fooled. And we need to make sure that our young people can discern the truth from what's not the truth. Each of us has a role to play, and each of us needs to stand up and do our part. And as we stand up and speak up, as we advocate and educate in our communities, I am confident that God will bless the work of our hands. I am confident that God, who sees all and knows all, will act on our behalf. You see, evil might have its day, but God still has forever. God is still sovereign, and he is still able to do all things but fail. So let's do our part and trust God to do God's part. God bless you.
Okay, where I send my tithes and offerings? Because I didn't know you was doing a sermonic snippet. We're going to have to put our tithes together, y'all. Y'all ain't go, y'all, this Bible, that was Bible study for the week. Okay, in the meantime, in between time, listen, this woman has put her life on the line, not only for those elected officials to have the validity behind their name, the truth behind their name. Because, see, there are some people that got to stamp your approval. And not to say that God hasn't already done it when you came out your mother's womb, but sometimes you need somebody to second your motion. Oh, y'all ain't never been in a parliamentary procedure, says that's what's wrong. We ain't got no Robert's rule up in here to keep things in order. But in the meantime, in between time, I want you to give it up for this legend, living legend that we have right now, the one and only Miss Virgie Rollins. Keep clapping, keep clapping, keep clapping, keep clapping. Let's go.
You know what, Reverend? I'm not a frustrated preacher, so I can't do what you just did. You were awesome, okay? Well, are you all fired up? Yeah. Are you ready to go? Let's go. How many in here are registered voters? I want to see your hand. How many voted in the last election? Okay.
Put that
Okay.
mic up, Virgie, so they can hear you.
Okay, so did everybody put their hand up that voted? How many voted for the right person? Okay. Because right now we are in a absolute mess. We're in a mess. But I'm here to welcome you all to Detroit. For all those who just got in town, I want to welcome you to the city that put this country and the world on wheels, who got the largest African-American museum, black museum, the Wright Museum. And of course, we put every singer, Motown, put every singer that you want to hear. This is a place that they began. So welcome to Michigan and Detroit. Now, I am the Democratic National Committee Black Caucus Chair. And so it is so important for me to challenge all of you because, you know, we are living in a dangerous times right now. And it is so important, and this is so appropriate for the state of the people to come to Detroit. Because where do we need it? In these urban areas. We need to know about the issues that are affecting us. We need to listen to some of the solutions that are going to be given to us in this meeting. We want to know about all the disparities that affect us in education, in the healthcare system, and as you heard the Reverend said last night, they're about to take everybody in here who's on Medicaid. You may wake up tomorrow and you will not have health care. So the disparities, and when I heard about people dying in hospitals, we have some of the worst hospitals in our cities and in our neighborhoods as far as health care, the disparities in our health care, the disparities, and we know about the criminal justice system. To be black, and I'm going to tell you, we can't even go to the grocery store without being crazy and discriminated against. We can't go to the gas station without being shot at. We can't go to the coffee shops. So it is important today, when we hear from all of the speakers that came to us today, to listen to, and I hope you're going to spend the whole day here because there's a lot to be shared, and just take it in, take notes, because this is important. This is a very important session for all of you. And I know some of you came to get your gas and your lights paid, but in order to do that, just listen today to find out some solutions on the issues that are affecting your life. So I appreciate having the State of the People in Michigan this time, and I want you to sit back and just enjoy it. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you, beautiful. Love you. So listen, y'all, we got one last welcome, and that's the one and only Professor Kyle Lopez. Come on.
Peace and power, everybody. Can I get that back? Peace and power, everybody. What do we need in our community? We need peace, don't we? And we need power as well. I've been doing this revolutionary work for a long time, and one thing I've seen is that we lack defense. We lack power. We always asking with hands out. Now it's time to get it, right? Dig it up deep out the mud and get it yourselves. I'm glad you all came here today. Today is a day of work. Today is a day of action. There is an ideology that I have coined to be a cancer, and it permeates throughout our nation. It permeates throughout our states and our cities, our communities, in your home, in your room. It's even in you sometimes. The ideology of white supremacy is a cancer, and it must be eradicated root and stem. And I'm not talking about people or race. No, it's a mind frame that I see in my people at times. Confused. Don't know whose side you on, right? The ideology, it's a mind frame, must be eradicated. And we are here today to do just that. I love the fact that we have a number of organizations that came out today. This is my pastor that spoke today. I love you, Pastor. Thank you. My son is here from school. Thank you for being here, son. I put my life into this. I understand what this is. This is war. Know what you in. This is war, period. And there's a war, a physical war, there's a psychological war, there's a chemical war, right? And we have to be aware, prepared at all times. We are going to start organizing survival programs. I'm in talks with some folks right now around some national survival programs for all people in need. The biggest thing we want to do first is get our needs met so we can survive. But surviving is just one element of it. We have to thrive. I call it survival and thrival. And I know thrival is not a word, but I just made it up. Take it with you. Take it back to your communities. Take it back to your household. Put it in you. Put it in your children. Survive and thrive. For so often we just want to get by. And that's fine. That's fine. That's cool. I watched a podcast the other day, and the sister was like, it seemed like black folks have made poverty look good. Like we love it. We don't love it. We make anything look good. Ain't that right, Zah? We make anything look good we in, right? But just because it look good don't mean we like it, right? We need a better quality of life, a real quality of life for ourselves, our children, and beyond. I did some work with some local officials in the past, and we came up with a program about generational economic wealth. What does that look like? Generational economic wealth, long-term wealth. When I was a kid in college, I got you, I'm wrapping it up. When I was a kid in college, my great-grandfather bought me a car. He died when I was 12 years old. But when I was in college, he bought me a car. 3 generations deep. Gloria Steinem said that the rich plan for Saturday night, while the poor plan for, the rich plan for 3 generations, while the poor plan for Saturday night. Who are we? Let's be the rich and plan for the future. All power to the people.
All power to the people. At this set-aside time, we're going to bring a dynamic panel, and it's the state of the Detroit families. How many of y'all got families? I have families that live on Strong on the east side. My dad graduated from Kettering, along with my aunties. I got cousins that went to King. I graduated from McKenzie. I got homeboys that graduated from Cody. I got people from CMA. Where y'all go? Shout them out. What? Mumford, I hear you. Okay. I hear you. Now, do you remember, did you know your neighbors growing up? Could you knock on their door? Could your kids sit on their porch? Could they, if you needed to know where your children are, could you yell out, my kids in the backyard? Right? Okay. Could your parents tell other kids down the street what to do? Could their parents tell you what to do? And it wasn't no problem? Okay, I thought so. Because that was the what? The village. And so today, we have an amazing moderator and a dynamic panel that's going to be speaking about the state of Detroit's family and community stakeholders. I met this young lady at Detroit Young Professionals, and when I tell you, she's straight Detroit. She was young then, and she's still young now. We younger tenderonis now. But she's a straight-up professional. She puts thousands and millions in the community. And see, what you got to understand is that everybody's not coming suited and booted. Some people have power with braids in their head. Some people got power with locks in their head. Some people got power and they got a bald head. They may not have a bow tie that you're looking for. So, with that being said, I want to welcome Dr. Chanel Hampton. Doctor. Of course. Let's go.
What up, though? Does this mic work? Y'all can hear me in the back? Can y'all hear me in the back? All right, what up, though? All right, so we have a number of panelists who are joining me for this conversation around the state of Black families and community. Can all of the panelists come up here? We're going to do some introductions on stage. So if you are on the panel for the state of Black families and community, come on, have a seat. I'm looking for a couple more brothers and sisters. Charles Thomas. Hey, brother. Corbana. Jerron. Dexter. Okay. This your last call. Jaja, I'm going to get started. Fantastic. All right, y'all. How's everybody doing? That's okay. So, fun fact, I was a teacher. I'm also a mama. How are y'all doing? All right. So before we get started, I want to give a chance for everyone to introduce themselves briefly, and then we are going to jump into some conversation. I do want to be clear, this is a conversation. This is not us speaking at you. So there will be opportunity for y'all to also ask questions as well. Before we do that, we'll go ahead and introduce ourselves. I'm Dr. Chanel Hampton. I am the granddaughter of Lola Mae, the daughter of Michelle. Okay. Southwest, West Side all day long. Jaja, I love you. I know you on the East Side. I don't hold it against you. It's all Detroit. And I have the honor and privilege of serving as the founder and CEO at Strategic Community Partners. We are a capacity building firm. Everything we do is unapologetically for our people. I'm very clear about that, whether it's fellowships, incubators. I'm a quiet architect behind the scenes, and we put money to our people. That's who I am, and I'm excited to pass it on to y'all. Please make sure you rep your neighborhood as well when you introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Shakura. I am from Mother and Justice. I am a field organizer. I am from Dexter. And so we just fight for policy change, and I'm happy to be here.
Good afternoon. My name is Charles Thomas Jr. I am the founder and director of a voter mobilization organization, When You Vote, I Win. Also the pastor and founder of a small ministry, People of Purpose Ministry. We do work on the east side of Detroit, which is also where I'm from, Marlboro and Jefferson, for what that's worth. East side, for sure.
What up, though? I am Sierra Renee. I'm from the west side. I'm just a girl from the D who got a degree to help my people heal. I work as the director of programs for Force Detroit. Force Detroit, what up? We do community violence intervention to provide therapeutic and transformative services to help our people heal.
I don't know how I follow all that, but I'm Portia Roberson. I am the president and CEO of Focus Hope. How many of you all know what Focus Hope is all about? Thank you very much. So as you know, we've been around for 58 years. I'm proud to have served as the president for the last 8 years. We're going to continue to keep doing what we need to do for our community partners to make sure that everybody gets everything that they need. That's our foremost goal, and we're going to keep at that goal no matter what anybody else says. I'm from the northwest side of Detroit, west side, and I rep Cass Tech. And I didn't shout that out. There we go.
All right, so we are going to. Can y'all hear me still? Okay, cool. So we're going to jump into some conversation. Again, we are going to make sure. I know.
You want this one?
Can y'all hear me on this one? Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you. Come on, talk to me. All right, so we're going to jump into some conversation, y'all. We're going to make sure that we leave some time for question as well. And as we jump in, I know we're going to be rotating some mics. Keep talking to us if you cannot hear us. But I want to start out. So I told y'all I was a teacher, right? So if you feel comfortable, I want you, and this is also my other plug. I love y'all standing over on the side too, but we can hear you over here. So if you'd like to come and grab a seat, feel free to. Otherwise, please be mindful of your noise. Thank you. So if you feel comfortable, I want you to close your eyes. This is for everyone, panelists, everyone in the audience. If you don't feel comfortable, I still hope you can listen to me and engage in the activity. So I want you to think about when you were a kid. Let's say between 7 to 12 years old. I want you to imagine the typical day. You got out of school, maybe it's a summer day. What were you doing? Feel free to call it out. Who were you with? Who looked out for you?
Everybody.
I want you to now fast forward or rewind to your best childhood memory. What is it? And if you could sum it up, we got block club, boblo, break dancing. If you could sum it up in one word, what would it be? Joy.
Joy.
The best. Safe.
Carefree.
Fun.
Innocent.
Innocent. Unity. Educational.
Yeah.
Community. Go ahead and open your eyes. This conversation today is thinking about our babies and our families today. How we carry on our shoulders, how we are this next generation, and what we need to do. So I'm going to ask each of you, as we open up, I want you to share what your fondest childhood memory was. And I want you to also then share what is the work that you do today and how does your organization support families and community?
I'll go first. My mama is in the building. Hey, mama. My fondest childhood memory was when I was 6 years old. My mama made me a dress. It was red, like white tooling. And she rented me a limousine, and we went to Chuck E. Cheese. We put cheese like it was the prime. And that, I still remember that to this day. Just the intention behind making sure that I felt cute. I had my play cousin as my date. He had a suit on, and we pulled up at Chuck E. Cheese like, what? Why y'all dressed like y'all dressed? It's my birthday. Y'all didn't get the memo? So I greatly remember that, and it brings me joy to think about it, how intentional my mom was, and just how I was able to just feel very, very much just empowered to just be me in that moment, and okay. So the second question was?
What is the work that you do now with families and community?
Yeah, so in community violence intervention, Force Detroit, we provide wraparound services for individuals who are in or around cycles of violence. So we deal with families who have been in a point of crisis and need whatever kind of support. We try to take care of them in a holistic way. One of our core pillars is Maslow's hierarchy of need, and we want to take care of that whole person right into that point of self-actualization. So that might look like financial support, might look like mental health support, it might look like housing support, or whatever it needs to make them feel safe, particularly at a point of crisis in their life. So that is the work that we do. We do interventions as well, but it's a combination of intervention and prevention, really just to making sure that our community can get a sense of healing after trauma.
Okay, so let me start by saying there were 10 of us, 10 kids. My father was the oldest of 15, and they were raised on a farm in Alabama, and being the oldest, he didn't get the memo that you only need that many kids if you have a farm, right? And so we were part of the Great Migration. I came as a preteen to Detroit, and some of my fondest memories were, as I said, I was at Marlboro and Jefferson, and there's a church, and I believe it's on Phillip in Jefferson. It's still there. And they would open the doors, and we would go in there, and we would play basketball all day. Go outside and drink from the water hose. That's when it was cool to do that, with no issues. And we would just, it was just a time when we were just okay, right? I mean, we had our struggles, obviously, with a family that large. But those were good times, those times of innocence where we could just be kids, right? We didn't have to worry about all of the issues of the day. Some of our children at a very young age, through social media and all these other mediums, are inundated with what I believe is sometimes way too much information, and they're not allowed to be kids. And so what we do, as I said, I run a voter mobilization organization, and I could talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. But along with that, I merge into it the ministry piece. And through the ministry piece, we on the voting side, we talk about voting. On the ministry side, we do things to try to put things into the hands of folks in the community, and I can do that from the backdrop of my own experience, having 10 kids, or being one of 10 kids, and there being very little. And so we adopted a rec center, Lasky Rec Center. Some of you might know it. That's on the border of Hamtramck and Detroit, Conant and Davison, all down in there on Finline. And so we do things to put resources into the hands of the families there to ease the burden that they have with trying to provide where there's little resources. And then as they provide, they take some of that burden off of their children so that they can be children, right? So that they don't have to bear the burden of the struggle that becomes more intense when you don't have resources, right? And so I don't want to get too deep into it and take up too much time, but that's kind of like how all of that comes together for me when trying to recreate a space of innocence for our children.
Well, I'm gonna, I don't know if this is working still, but I'm gonna date myself a little bit because some of you all in this room look too young to remember this, but one of my favorite childhood memories is dressing like my friends, because we always had to dress alike, get a shirt that matched, and going to Edgewater Park. Now, do any of y'all remember Edgewater Park? Yeah, I know. There's some young people in here have never heard of it, but it was an amusement park in the city of Detroit. In fact, it sits where Greater Grace Temple sits right now. So, I'm not sure it was the safest place in the world in terms of the rides, but nevertheless, to me, it felt like going to Disney World, right? It felt like you could be with your friends all day, you could run around the park, you could get on the rides, you could eat all the junk food you could handle. And it gave me a sense of, when we talk about community, it gave me a sense of community, because it might have been my mom that took us, it might have been somebody else's mom that took us. We would know, they would know each other, and it would be fine if we were gone all day, and it felt like a free day. And so it is one of the memories that sticks with me in the work I do at Focus Hope, because too many of our little ones don't have that same experience, that same sense of freedom. Too many of them have burdens in their families that are weighing on them even at a very, very young age. I will tell you really quickly that one of the things we started at Focus Hope was the opportunity for our children as well as their parents to have mental health services right on our campus. We knew that in our population, sending someone even to the Children's Center, which is not far from where we are on Oakman Boulevard, but sending somebody to Woodward Avenue might be too much of a burden for them. So in order to have them have someone to talk to, it was important that we address their traumas right on Focus Hope's campus. Hey, you need to talk to somebody, they're sitting in the office next to us right now. Go on in and sit down with them. And we found that not only would parents take advantage of that, but some of our kids saw things that were happening in their homes or in the streets around their homes that they should not be seeing at this age, right? And then, so that's exactly the image, I guess, or the feeling I take when I'm talking about our Head Start program and our early Head Start program, which, by the way, is being revamped by this current administration, right? They don't see the importance of Head Start for our children, although their children oftentimes get a Head Start in other ways. And I don't say that based solely on race. This is a class war as well. This is a war on people who are economically challenged. This is not always about race. It's about people believing that those who have less are less than. And so we got to stop that. We got to fight against that. But then the other work that we do at Focus Hope is our workforce development and education. And I think about how many opportunities there used to be in this city to figure out what you wanted to do when you grew up, right? That your exposure in Detroit Public Schools was to all kinds of different things where you could then choose what worked for you, whether it was a shop class, whether it was a home ec class, whether it was arts, whether it was creativity. What was the thing that turned you on to the point that you wanted to pursue that later on? And so much of that doesn't exist. So then when we get a 17-year-old who's just graduated from a Detroit public school or any school in this area, they're not sure what they want to do because they haven't had the exposure to all the things that they could do, and they haven't figured out what's going to turn them on for the future. And so we're trying to help them figure out what's the thing that you want to do that can build the life that you want to have. And then last but certainly not least is our senior program. We feed 43,000 seniors a month. Every month. We deliver, or we have seniors come to Focus Hope either to our Oakman Boulevard campus, our Inkster location, or our East Side location, and they can shop for their supplemental food box. It's not enough. I don't pretend that it's enough. But there are a lot of seniors out here who we don't understand are food insecure daily. And I tell people when they're talking about my workforce area that, I can give you the best person that works at your job and you love them and they love working there and you want them to be there for 25 years. But I will tell you this, if that same person is worried about whether their mama can eat this month, if that same person is worried about whether their children have had to walk home at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and they're not there and they want to make sure that the 10-year-old has helped the 4-year-old get inside and unlock the door and lock the door back and get a little snack but don't turn on the stove, they're not thinking about your widgets. They're not thinking about what they should be working at your job. So we've got to make the connection between people who are talking about, we want to build a labor force. Yeah, I'm all for that. I want people to have good jobs and good opportunities, but I also want us to understand that there is a correlation between what we are doing for people in their lives, in their personal lives, and all that they are doing to make capitalism supreme, right? Like, I get that, and I get that people are for that, but we've got to talk about what people need in this country. We got to talk about what people need in this city, my city I call home, that I moved back to from D.C. When I was out there, I always said to people, I'm not staying here. My home is Detroit. I'm going home. As soon as this is over, I'm going home. We got to talk about what people need here, and we got to work hard to make that happen.
So my family also, I have 7 siblings. And so my memory was all of us in front of the TV and Beyonce, Destiny Child, Bootylicious came on. But like, we are all theatrical. We are all like really have a lot of personality. And so when that song came on, this never happens. Usually the next sibling is in the other room or the other sibling is like upstairs or doing something different. But this day, for some reason, all of us was in the living room, and then my brother turned up the TV, and we were all dancing. We were all doing our own thing. Everybody was over here, swaying there. Like, it was so much fun. And that reminds me of, like, what we do with our families now. And y'all, I get so nervous when I talk in front of people. Like, over 5 people, I be over here like, so give me a second. But, so we fight for policy change, and so we fight for paid leave, affordable child care, basic needs, and pay leave for, affordable child care, Black maternal health, basic needs, and pay leave for all. And so that memory reminds me of all of the things that we are working for. My mom worked really hard. We use Focus Hope. Oh my goodness, I got a story about me and my brothers having a cereal fight. But but we definitely needed a lot of help. So now Mother and Justice works hard for us to be everyone's political home. We want to be able to have everyone comes to us if they have any questions about policy or anything like that. We want to be able to have as many people as possible to help us fight for those things. We have worked hard to get the earned paid sick time bill passed. We have our Mama's March. We are in DC. We go to Lansing. We are literally knocking doors. I lead a canvassing team. And so we are literally out on the floor just trying to get as many people involved as possible. And we have had so much success with this. We have been around since 2012. And I really want everyone to get involved because what we are doing is huge. And it is going to affect every single person in this room when it comes to caregivers, when it comes to having the things that we need, like affordable housing and things of that nature. We are trying to get the policies changed so that these things can happen.
Take a breath, girl. You did great. You did great. So part of why I wanted us to start out with each of us in the room thinking about our childhood and each of us as panelists thinking about it is we carry our past, right? For better, for worse, for all the in-between. And I don't think it's a coincidence that many of your childhood stories and fondest memories somehow tie or intersect with the work that you all are leading right now. And so today we wanted to have a conversation really focusing on the state of our families and our community. You have policy, organizing, you have folks focused on voting, ministry and faith, you have direct services. And so I have a few questions and then we're gonna open it up for Q&A. I want to ask a 2-part question. So this entire tour is focusing on our agenda, the state of our people after the first 100 days. I'm gonna ask a 2-part question, right? Because one thing that I do feel firmly is this is not the first battle and foolishness we've seen, and it certainly will not be the last. So I want you to think about the state of Black Detroit families and community in October of 2024. You can even go back to October of 2023. And I'm curious if briefly you can share how you would describe the state of our families. And then I want you to fast forward and what is the state of our families and community today? So I'm gonna say it one more time. And we're gonna start there. Go back to October, whether it's 24, 23, before this administration, right? Because this administration is not the first evil administration, racist administration, supremacist administration we've seen, and let's not act like it is. What was the state of our community? And what is the state of our community today? And if a couple folks want to jump in, we're gonna go from there.
I'll go first.
Yes, I saw you. He's like, man.
I'll go first. Let me start by saying that the work that I do is a legacy work. And so when you talk about how we've been there before, right? The organization that I've founded is built on the story of 2 of my father's youngest sisters. And they were Selma foot soldiers. And so they were trained by John Lewis, part of SNCC, made all the marches, the protests, locked up, cattle prods, Billy Clinton, all of that. They did that. And so, again, it's legacy work. It's a revisiting of that history in many ways. But just to the question itself, I think that I have to start with saying that the state of the community is very much, even though I don't believe it should be, I really don't, it's very much the way that they perceive it, right? And I say that because there was an expression about misinformation and disinformation, and most of you know that those campaigns were directed towards our communities. Even all the way out of Russia, they directed misinformation and disinformation directly to our communities. And so let me say that, it's a lot of people believed a lot of things that were not true. And so they believed that their condition was worse off, even though there were many things that were done that made it better, right? There were the stimulus checks. Everybody believes they came from one source. 2 came from the Biden administration, 1 came from the other one. When it comes to money going into the pockets of our community, you had the child care tax credit, where that was doubled, and people were getting twice as much and getting checks cut. You had the expansion with the COVID relief of SNAP, and folks were getting thousands of dollars. And they somehow were convinced that that never happened. And so I'll just end this because they flashed at me, let me know. We know elections have consequences. If we never knew before, we know now, right? And what we need to do is, as we clear up the reality and revisit the past, help folks to make all the dots become connected with an understanding of that if we don't participate, there's a cost. There is a cost, and we're going to pay. We're going to suffer some in order to get around it. But we've been there before, and so folks are looking at us for the way to get out. So I'll cut it off there.
Was that 5 minutes for all of us, or just you? So I'm a psychologist by trade. So the way I see this is from a mental health perspective, right? So if I think about in 2023, that's right when I started working with Forrester Trade. And I believe that there were people that seen a bit of hope because they were getting some help and they were getting some services provided to them. And then when I look at the state of our people now, still dealing with them directly, I just see complex trauma, consistently traumatized, because we've been a people that will ebb and flow. We get some things and then it's taken away. Then we get some things and then it's taken away. And now there's just this hovering sense of hopelessness that I feel with the communities that I work with. Dealing in community violence intervention, it literally feels like nobody is going to help us. And that we don't have enough, we won't have enough. And then every time we get a little bit more is taken. I remember when we the first executive order to rescind funds, we had an emergency meeting at work, and it was like, oh my gosh, panic, what are we going to do? And it was like, okay, well, we got a little bit of edge on that. They're not going to do it. We had some relief. We had some funding that was issued to us to support us. And then now here we are, right back again. The things that we had planned, there was consistent meetings for the things that we could do that could provide resources, very important resources in our community, and then we wake up and it's snatched. So I feel like it's consistent trauma that we are going through, and people are looking for ways to help. Yeah.
I remember in 2024 when we were out there and we were talking to people and everyone was like scrambling like, oh, what's gonna happen if this person wins and what's gonna happen if that person wins? And I just feel like now no one feels safe. No one knows who to trust, what to trust, and a lot of the times everyone is like, oh, he's doing this, or oh, well, they're doing that, and it just seems like a lot of shenanigans and a lot of uncertainty. And especially when we're out canvassing and talking to a lot of the families, people don't know who to believe when it comes to the Democratic Party or the Republican Party. They feel like if they go over here, then are they still going to have the same type of securities? Or if they're with Trump, well, Trump may be able to do these types of things. It just seems like there's no certainty in our community at this moment.
Yeah. They've articulated the truth brilliantly. I can speak to an isolated issue that I'm seeing in our work with reparative justice and affordable housing for young adults. We see that black young people are extremely exposed by the work of this administration and a number of the young people that we serve with affordable housing resources. The rapid rehousing dollars that they are often given have been frozen. And so in an age of misinformation, propaganda, and conspiracy, some of these same young people voted for the hands that are tying their hands. And so we have to do a better job at making sure that we're protecting the vulnerable and making sure that they're getting the information that they need that's going to impact their lives. But our affordability with housing, our access to housing, we are really in a conundrum there. And we've got to figure that out. How do we begin to recover the subsidies? We're working with some foundations to kind of close that gap. But that's really the need for me right now, is how do we get these babies housed?
So I want to move us into some Q&A. And before we do that, we've started to talk about the state of our families and community, and I want us to think about what needs to be on our political agenda moving forward. And so I'm curious if very briefly, each of you could share like a bullet. This should be on our agenda. Okay. It's out again. Go ahead, y'all heard me.
Well, first, I would say organization. There are more good organizations doing the work of coalition building, but how do we begin to layer those coalitions so that we all are working in lockstep? It's time to organize people and organize money, because one thing that this world is always going to recognize is the dollar and numbers. And if we can get our collective numbers together like we had in the 60s, I think that we would have that robust wave where we can really make some change.
Yeah.
But 10,000 here, 20,000 here, how do we get 1 million?
I definitely agree with that. I think that we all definitely need to come together. I think education is a huge thing as well. When I think about a lot of the things that we are fighting for, a lot of the times people are miseducated. They don't necessarily know all of the different governments and all of the different things that affect them on an everyday basis. And so I think that once we bring everyone together and utilize everyone's different talents so that we can have people over here working on the ground or have these people in engineering, I think that's when we'll really start to build power, and that's when we'll really see change.
I would just say this. What my organization does is voting, right? And we know that everything that we speak of is attached to the ballot. And so I say that because we do what we do. And there are a multitude of organizations out here that do what they do. Let's stop trying to jump into each other's lanes. Let folks do what they do, right? And then support them. We do what we do, and then we support just about every organization in this room. And so I think that that is where power will begin to be built. Because if we keep splitting ourselves and then arguing over $1, then we will never be able to bring forward the agenda that we need to bring forward. Each of us should be able to come and put our organization's name and its work on one agenda, and saying we all come as individual organizations, each doing individual things, and this is our agenda.
Is this one working? Okay. I'm gonna ask the question first to you guys. Raise your hand if you know what community violence intervention is. Okay, that's good. I know I got some CVI organizations in the building. If you can just raise your hands too. All right, shout out to y'all. Thank you so much. So we have CVI Day coming up on June 11th, where we are actually going up to Lansing, knocking on doors. So I'm gonna be calling you because you gotta come with me now. Knocking on doors because we are advocating for public safety. So those organizations that are in here doing this work to reduce violence in significant numbers. Force Detroit is responsible for reducing violence by 72% in our area. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And that's huge, and it's because we were able to get some funding. So we are going to advocate for a public safety fund that will allow us to continue to do this work. So if you could, is my advocacy manager in here, Chris? Okay, he got a turtleneck and a sweater on. He looking real presidential, okay? But we want everybody to come with us to Lansing. We getting buses and we going up there together and saying that CVI matters and it's literally saving lives. So that is something that I think should be on everybody's agenda because it's actually saving lives, it's saving money, and it's providing that healing in the communities that's so necessary.
I think I would echo what everybody else on the panel has said. I think we should be working together. One of the first things I did when I got to Focus Hope is stop some of the things we were doing, not because I didn't think that we could be good at it, but because there were other organizations already doing it well. And we did not need to do that as well. So, you know, I told you, we feed seniors, we have Head Start, and we do workforce development. But every other organization represented up here is something that we have to lean on because our funding is directly tied to how we vote. I mean, we're in a fight of our lives right now, right? When we talk about our motherhood program, our doulas, our child care, our Head Start, that's a key part of what Focus Hope does. And so I just think the biggest thing we could do as a community and as an organization at Focus Hope is to lean on other organizations that are doing work that we don't do. They already do it well. We should be working together to make sure, because I do think the narrative is that we all have to fight one another for $1, right? I'm so tired of going to people and begging them, oh, can you get me some money? Can you give me some money? Can you give me some money? When I know it's going to take money out of, and they tell me, the funders will say, you know, if I give you something, I can't give so-and-so something. Well, that's not the point. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make sure we all get something so we can all continue to do our work for our community.
Okay, so we had a time update and we have less time than we thought. We have time for one question. So I'm gonna let one, ma'am, I saw you right here. So I'm gonna hand it over to you. Thank you, sir.
I have a question. Hi. My name is, ooh, that's loud. My name is Naita Green, and I am the CEO and founder of Disability Community for Democracy, a relatively new national disability justice organization. I'm actually going to ask a question about voting. I don't know. Oh, there you are. I'm going to just ask you a question directly. One of the issues that the disability community runs into is access, not necessarily registering to vote, but actually being able to go to the ballot to vote. So what can we do as disability justice organizations to make sure that our people get out to vote? We don't tell people who to vote for. We are pro-democracy disability justice org because it's not about party, it's about fighting against eugenics at this point. Because if we don't vote the right way, they're going to take away COVID vaccines. That's what they're trying to do right now. So that's why I'm asking a question about voting. How can we help people with disabilities get out to vote, like ASL interpretation, being able to get into voting, getting into the polls, if you're neurodivergent, not being overstimulated with maybe no excuse absentee balloting. I'm just putting these things out there because I'm not from Michigan. I live in Massachusetts, and I'm from a state that we have no excuse mail-in voting. So just asking a question. Thank you.
Thank you. I guess I'm supposed to answer that. Okay, so this is what I will say. We have an organization that we do a lot of work with, Detroit Disability Power. And so we're engaged in these conversations, and a lot of it surrounds the fact that we have voting in buildings that were built long ago, and they were not equipped for providing access. And so that's a problem that, you know, I'm not sure how quickly it can be solved. You have churches, you have schools, and so the one thing that we do have is we do, as you all have, we have, I call it no excuse absentee voting. So everybody can get a ballot and vote from home, but disability should not lock you into having to vote like that. And so that's just something that's still being resolved, conversations are being taken place, but that is one place where voting can take place, and that is not an issue.
All right, y'all. So we have been given I see 30 seconds, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. If each of you can share, how can folks find you, connect with you? If you want to share out quickly, they can follow you.
I have the mic, so I'll just say gotvmi.org. GetOutTheVoteMichigan.org.
Okay, you can follow Mother and Justice at Instagram. You can go to our website, motherandjustice.org. And you can also follow me on Instagram, Shakora__, and I know that's not an easy name. So, but, and I'll pass it on. And also, I wanted to just add, I think we should definitely think about different ways to get different people out here. I think a lot of the times when we are marketing these events, we have the same people at the events every single time. And I think that it's very important for us to look for different ways to talk to people who are not always interested in policy and politics, because we need those people too.
That's good. Black Legacy Advancement Coalition. We're a movement committed to building Black power by providing education and resources to community. The Black, THEBLAC.co is a website. Black Coalition on IG, Facebook, all of that. And then come hang out with us August 15th, Health is Wealth Detroit. Easter Market will be giving away over 1,000 wellness kits and just loving on our people.
You can find us at forcedetroit.org and Force Detroit on Instagram and Facebook.
And you can find us at Focus Hope. We're actually educational, so focushope.edu. We're both on Instagram, Facebook. Yes, I know nobody uses Facebook anymore, but we're on Facebook, Instagram, and I think they're on TikTok, but I won't be appearing on TikTok. And then focushope.edu website. So hope you check us out.
Strategic Community Partners. You can find SCOM Partners and Chanel_Hampton, spelled the correct way, Chanel. So ma'am, I'm not taking any more time. We're not doing it. We thank you. For the record, we started late and we were under an hour. I appreciate y'all for sharing. Please give them a round of applause, y'all. Jaja, come on up, honey. Come on up.
She does. We need the mic. We need the mic.
Sase ain't got no mic. We say no mic. No mic. I'm talking to everybody in the building. If y'all can hear my voice, we say no mic. No mic.
So listen, this is why he do this. I do a poetry and open mic every first Friday of the month. And I got thrown into something. And so how many of y'all know you get thrown into something and it becomes your thing, right? I used to write poetry when we was kids. See, some of y'all ain't got away with it because you're scrolling on the phone all day. You don't write to God no more. You don't write to yourself. You don't journal. You don't do nothing. No more. And we need you to do it. But I have this amazing young lady that's getting ready to come and perform. Because what you got to know is the spoken word is an art. It speaks. And what comes from the heart speaks to the heart. How many of y'all got a heart in here? Oh, y'all ain't got no hearts? Y'all need to go to the Wizard of Oz. We need to go find Oz to go get you a heart. I say, how many people got a heart in here? Oh, okay. Now listen, this gonna be a little different. Instead of us clapping, we gonna do some snapping. Let's practice. Y'all ready? Y'all practicing? All right, let's go. Listen, coming to the stage is the one and only Peter Poet. Give it to him, sis. Give it.
Hello, everybody. How y'all doing? That is lovely. My name is P the Poet. I am a poetess from the East Side and a fellow jewel of Detroit. Y'all can hear me all right? This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Bright. Brighter than you've ever seen it, as the little tall tales about how dim-lit bulbs tend to flicker on, about darkness, the eroded overshadowing of madness. They whispered shimmers shining brighter than any star on the outer side of this orbit. They seen faded flashes zipping across the sky, falling, they said, unequipped with the action verb called flying stars, they called them. Inferior, they feared the roar, found stardust just at the peak of their horizon. Twinkles gone as quick as they appeared, bursting up their atmosphere, they fled. The small speckles of light scattered across the sky with miniature embers sparking fireside conversation. See, illumination was believed to be too bright for the untrained eye. But fear not, said the wanderer. Fear not what appeared not to be fire, yet walking flame intended to inspire, displeased with man's inability to see. So bright-eyed with curiosity posed the question, with all this power, who takes the responsibility? If not the antithesis to darkness, though the shining emits from within, walk lit like all sparks on the brink of optimism, transforming man's image of self in the mind, found freedom within illumination, found illumination within being, self bright enough to feel the skin tingling, kissed by sun, with lips no longer lethiated by ill syllables, the people spoke of light for once, and had hearts heavier than ever. Sparks sprung into action, made darkness disappear back within the crevices from which it appeared, but I'm afraid this is no origin story. This is the declaration of illumination. To be bright, see bright, speak light as a boulder, refined in size the triangulated light prism, emitting bite-sized rainbows for the consumption of the masses. Imagine, as the hand, wielding the cup of collective consciousness, overflows till it bends, till it runneth over yonder. From far and wide, wanderers would arrive, with such stars in their eyes. So they passed down torches to commemorate this time that this little light of mine made a difference. And I know we all family, so sing it if you with me. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Good job! Well, we family now, you know. I love you cousins. Y'all can catch me on Instagram at P the Poet. That's PTHAPOET. And if you want to know what I do, I'll be over there, and I love to talk to you. Thank you.
Let's go. We talking about Peter Poet. Y'all feel good now? Dr. Seuss, 1, 2, 3. Green, eggs, and ham. Sam, I am. Snap, snap, snap. Okay? So listen, our next amazing panel is going to be led by this wonderful young lady, okay? When I tell y'all, oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. Did y'all know Jesus was our first bartender? Y'all didn't know? See, they had ran out of wine, and then the mama was like, hey, son, you the man that turned the water into wine. I need you to do something because you don't be embarrassing me in front of these people at this wedding. And the king said, oh, y'all save the best for last. So this next young lady that I'm bringing to the stage is going to be introducing our Building Black Economic Power in Detroit. And not only is this amazing woman an entrepreneur herself, but her and her amazing husband are leading right now in our beer and wine and liquor industry, the Spirits of Detroit. Because guess what? They took that from us too. We was bootlegging in the bathtubs. Oh, Auntie, am I telling the truth? I'm telling the truth? All right, so give it up for the one and only Marshall Favors as she comes to the stage to introduce this next amazing panel about building Black economic power in Detroit. And after this amazing panel, we're going to have Hakeem, the poet, the people's poet. Okay? Give it up. Y'all stop clapping. Y'all stop clapping. If it was you, you would keep clapping too.
What up, though? State of the People Power Tour Detroit. I'm Marshall Favors. This next panel is Building Black Economic Power in Detroit. I want to welcome you and thank you for joining us for this vital conversation. Today we stand at the intersection of legacy and opportunity. Detroit has long been a city of resilience, creativity, and innovation, especially within us, the Black communities. Building Black economic power here just isn't about dollars and cents. It's about restoring ownership, amplifying voices, creating pathways for generational wealth. It's about honoring the past, but boldly shaping the future where prosperity is shared, exclusive, and rooted in community. Together, we have the power to reimagine what's possible and to build a Detroit where Black excellence thrives in every corner of our economy. I want to bring our panelists to the stage. Now, there may be some, we're going to roll with it, though. There may have been some changes in the agenda, but Deja Ruffin. Deaja, thank you. Deaja Ruffin. Servant leader, strategist, dedicated servant leader with over 7 years of experience in the political and nonprofit sectors. Her career includes pivotal roles in the Michigan House of Representatives and the Michigan State Senate. She co-founded Black Women in Michigan Politics to drive advocacy and dialogue among 200 elected Black women across the state. She is dedicated to equity, social justice, and addressing systemic racial disparities that drive positive and meaningful change. Give it up for Deja. Rachel Allen, if you could come to the stage, is a keynote speaker, serial entrepreneur, author. Rachel is the founder and executive director of Operation Schools, a nonprofit business service organization with a mission to train, empower, and equip startups and nonprofit leaders. Thank you. Well, this next one I know well because we share the last name, same last name. So Lazar Favors is a dynamic CEO and founder of the spirits industry. He established Black Spirits Legacies in 2021 and organized the Taste of Black Spirits Liquid Forum and has successfully hosted 12 across major cities. His remarkable organization has revitalized the spirits industry, enabling 38 African-American-owned brands to secure $35 million in funding and fueling their growth. You can clap for that. Lazar has consistently demonstrated a strong commitment to community service throughout his life. He sponsors sleep outs and raised awareness for homeless and youth, and has a passion for community development that extends his work to Black Bottom Group, where he leads financial literacy, apparel design, summer programs, and youth among young people. Thank you, thank you. We have one last panelist also that's joining the stage. There was a change in the agenda. Brandon Biddles. Yes. Coming to the stage. I don't have your bio up here, so we're just going to give a big round of applause, make you feel welcome, like you're our cousin here. Please welcome Brandon Biddles. Biddles Investment Group. Welcome, welcome.
Welcome. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, very good.
So we're just going to go down the line a little bit, and we did a formal introduction, but I want you to give everyone an idea of what it is that you do, and
starting with me?
Yes,
All right.
and where you represent, what neighborhood you represent.
We can do Oakland, Macomb, and Wayne counties. My name is Brandon from Biddles Investment Group, and we empower individuals and organizations to become income independent. And so that's kind of, I want you to know what income independence is. That means you're not dependent on one source or maybe two sources. You have multiple streams of income or multiple strategies to generate income, so if something happens in your life, you're not in a very bad situation, right? We want to set you up so that you have multiple streams of income so that you can avoid being put in critical situations. So that's pretty much what we do. We focused on investing mostly, but we do offer financial literacy as well.
Thank you.
My name is Diaja Ruffin. Diaja Ruffin. Just for clarification, not to you, because there's a lot of people that I've been knowing here for years that's still calling me Diaja and Deja. But I'm a Detroit native. I graduated from Western Michigan University, went on to work in the Michigan House and the Michigan Senate. I was the treasurer for the 13th Congressional Democratic Party, and also co-founded Black Women in Michigan Politics with Senator Sylvia Santana. After that, I went on to the nonprofit sector, where I am in nonprofit management, understanding that in order to change a system, it's very hard to be in it and change it at the same time. A lot of folks that are in office are not looking for systemic change, but I am. And thinking about the nonprofit sector, being close to the ground and understanding our issues, I've helped with several programmatic work to continue the progress for the things that we are talking about today. And I am now the founder of For-Profit Marketplace and For-Profit Ventures, because everything we do is for profit. And so when we think about the work and the stuff that he's talking about, we gotta start thinking about profit. So I'm thankful to be on this panel.
Thank you.
All right. I should have went first. My name is Lazar Favors. I'm the CEO of Black Spirits Legacy, co-founder of the Detroit Black Film Festival, along with my wife, Marshall. We focus on African-American entrepreneurs building their brands, investment, their portfolios, and really doing the work. Like we call, what I like to call what we do is edutainment, because we entertain you and educate you at the same time through various platforms that we perform and use. And I am from the East Side Cass Tech.
All day. So we have a short time on the panel, so we're going to jump right into it. We're talking about Black economic power, and what does a thriving, economically empowered Black Detroit look like? We're going to project the future in 10 to 20 years. And how would we measure the success of that along the way?
Well, for me, it's what I use right now. It's called collective behavior. How many people in the room got more than 5 brothers and sisters? more than 8, more than 10, more than 12, more than 13, right?
Come on.
And I use that because I come from a household that is that large, right? And in that household, you have 7 boys and the rest are girls. I can't remember the number at the moment, but the rest are girls. And we had these chores, right? We had to be a certain way with each other, right? I never, ever in life called my sisters out of their name, ever. Not one time, right? When my mother said it, it got done. There was no question, right? And we became immune to that behavior, meaning protect your house, love your house, right? And create and enjoy the people in that house, and don't let any people or persons in that house fail or fall. That's the start. That's the beginning. It has to start with you first. How I see Detroit is starting with the people of Detroit first. I'm Detroit through and through, unconsciously. I don't have to be reminded of the beautiful people that's sitting out here. Like, if it's you, it's me. If it's me, it's you. So where I see Detroit with the right mindset, with the right connectivity, with the right collective behavior, I see it where it has been. If you're thinking about Black Bottom and Paradise Valley, and that has happened in all the communities across the United States. So that's where I see it, with the right people and with the power of the people.
I just want to start off by saying a profound statistic that is floating around, that it is said, I was just said, it's not, I don't think that this is as accurate as it sounds, but we still need to do better. The black dollar only lasts in the black community for 6 hours. The white dollar lasts in the community for their community for 17 days. The Jewish community, their dollar lasts in their community for 20 days. The Asian community, their dollar lasts in their community for 30 days. So we don't even have a day documented to say that we supported just our people within that time frame. And we have to change that narrative. So that would be the first thing that I would see, that I would hope to be changed, not in 10 years, but to next year, because we're here right now talking about economic power. The thing that I would like to contribute to it is for-profit ventures and for-profit marketplace. It started off as the Black nonprofit project, but everybody kept asking me, why are you going into nonprofit? Why are you going to nonprofit? Because we think in the Black community, that's where our help comes from. But in reality, we have to start having our own businesses if we expect for change to happen and be able to support one another. But if you don't have a business that I can support, how do you expect for us to truly support you in the way that you need to be supported? You're asking for support from my pocket that does not benefit me directly, and that's probably going to go to a staff member. So we got to get out of that mindset that we need all of these nonprofits. We got enough nonprofits in the city of Detroit that everybody can start supporting, but I will encourage us all to start building and having a product. And back to that part, the point of, so now it went from the Black nonprofit project to the Black project, but everything we do is for profit, and we don't need to keep telling folks that we Black. We are not just Black, we are indigenous to this land. And so, and the conversation now, it needs to continue to go forward, and I'm not gonna limit us to what they have labeled us as Black. I'm gonna continue to fight for our rights right here on this land, which is our land, because we are the true Native Americans.
I'll take a shot real quick. Those were very good answers, and I'm going to piggyback off of her statement here, where if you think about a typical Friday or Saturday night, you go to the gas station, we don't own that. You go get your hair done, we don't own that. You go to the liquor store, we don't own that. You go to the club, we don't own that. You go to a bar, you go to the place that you go to. More than likely, we don't own any of those places. This is what she's talking about, how that black dollar is spent in different areas where we don't own that. If you look at a black church is never open. You know, it's probably not open, but a Catholic church is always open. The lights are always on, right? And so I think it starts with policy, what she's doing, him believing in our community, what he's doing. And I also think for a lot of nonprofits, if there are a lot of nonprofits in here, it's going to start with sustainability. A lot of nonprofits are scared of investing their dollars that they got. And you don't necessarily have to invest those dollars, but you want to put those dollars in a high yield savings account or put them in some bonds. You want to make sure that your organization is sustainable from the money that you brought in. You want that money to work for you so that you don't have to be begging for dollars all the time. That's one thing. The next thing is more black businesses, which we implore you to do. Everybody here is gifted. Everybody here is talented. You have something within you that somebody will pay for. If you're a good gardener, you're a good basketball coach, you're a good tutor, whatever you have that God has blessed you with, and he's blessed us with many skills. So if you look at any of our celebrities that have transitioned from not only acting to directing to having sports drinks or whatever, those are multiple areas that they've been able to have success in. All they needed was that foot in the door, and then they expanded their portfolio amongst all things. And I think there is one organization called Black Shares, and there's probably more, but that's a platform where black people can share their expertise and spin with each other. And so we need more things like that, and that's what we implore people to do at Biddles Group, is we implore you to become entrepreneurs. We implore you to not only have one, if you picture a table with one leg in the middle, if that's your income source, that one leg, when that income source is taken away, that table's gonna fall, right? But if you picture a table with 4 legs, if one leg is pulled away, the table may be wobbly, but you're not falling, okay? That's where we want to set ourselves and position ourselves to be.
Great comments.
Can I add one thing?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I agree with both of them, and thank you for all of those things. I think the other part is being in the know. There's 3 entrepreneurs up here, 3 business owners up here, and I'm sure it's multiple business owners out there as well. My wife and I, we seek those things. It's over, from Jefferson to the Boulevard, it's over 48 African-American owned restaurants, right? From the co-op to Liquor Basket on Gratiot. So we seek after us unconsciously. I go to the gas, if I'm in Inkster, I'll drive to the gas station on Ida Drive in 7 Mile because it's been there 50 years and it's black owned, right? So it's about being in the know and getting that information out, not just getting it, but also sharing it, because that's what we tend to do. And that's all over the country. That's every state we occupy.
And the restaurants are actually the low-hanging fruit, because
Yes.
you can always find someone to eat that's black-owned, right? But being conscious about seeking out those other businesses, those other resources that are in the communities as well. And you can't have this conversation and not bring in community when we're talking about black economic power. So my next question is, how can community voices be more effectively included in economic decision making? Brandon, you can kick us off.
All right, I
You-
kick you off.
yes.
Repeat the question one more time.
So how can community voices be effectively included in economic decision making?
I think it kind of goes back to the first panel. We have to have an agenda, you know. We have to have some type of agenda. So we have to not only vote, but have an agenda and vote on policies that are not going to hold us back. We have to vote on policies that are going to push us forward. And if we notice those policies that are holding us back, we need to fight against those. We need to protest against those. We need to, I mean, there are so many systems set up, not only corporately, but economically and politically, that are not for us. And so you might be able to speak more to that, but I think that's one way that we can align to, we really need to change policy.
Yes, I agree. And us just understanding that the United States of America is a corporation. We have to stop. We are so pro-vote, but we don't have no money in our pockets. And that's something that we have control over. We have control over ensuring that we can go to work, we can get paid, and we can go give our money to somebody that's black. We could do that. This jacket I got on black from a black-owned business, these pants, all of my purses are from black-owned businesses, and I look forward to having all of my products from black-owned businesses with the for-profit marketplace. But that we have to be intentional about that, and it's not about red and blue, it's about green. John Hope O'Brien said it best. We have to get out of the mindset, to his point, which I know is what he getting at, is that we got to start being these corporations. And it's okay. Like, you don't need a white person's money to make money. They're going to take your money. And we have to get out of the mindset that we are a byproduct of this society, when in reality, we know that without us, the ball drops. And I'm just really quickly, I'm going to go to a point that throughout history, before we even, when they started telling us that we came over here on ships and all of this other stuff, we already had everything that we needed, and they wanted us as a dollar amount. So they started selling the actual physical body of a person. So imagine how much money you are really worth in the eyes of a white person or the system in general. And so in order for us to really get that economic power that we're looking for, we have to start using our money that we get. And every time you get some money, make sure that that's your tithes and offering. Go give to a black business so that we can start building this ecosystem up. And I'm here in Detroit specifically, I'm taking all of the advocacy, I'm taking all of the community development and all of those different things that I've learned throughout my career, nonprofit, to organize us in our businesses, because that's what economic power really looks like, and that's what change looks like in America. But we can do it right now, right here in Detroit, and expand and be the pilot to show that we can share our money with one another and that we can support our businesses while we support different initiatives that are asking for funding. But then we'll have the money to actually do it.
Well said. He said, I think she covered it. So I don't want to have all the fun up here myself, and I'm sure there's some questions out in the audience that you all may have as well. Have a question right here? You can come on up.
Mike right there, honey.
Yes. Come on up. Yep. She's behind you with the mic.
Thank you. Hi. So I'm not from here. I just moved here 2 months ago, y'all.
Welcome.
Thank you
What
for
up,
having
though?
me.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I've lived in St. Louis. I'm from Illinois. I'm an Illinois baby. I've lived in St. Louis. I've worked in New Orleans. I've worked in Missouri House of Representatives as an intern, so I've seen a lot of things, which I'm sure you understand. And I worked in policy advocacy, nonprofit space as well. And so my question is just understanding the history of the civil rights movement, for example, and the Montgomery bus boycotts. A lot of those moments in history that we know were built on house meetings, were built on real organizing behind the scenes in private so that they could make a big splash in public. And so as a newcomer to this community who also is interested in wanting to figure out how to make a difference with people, what is the state of our people and Detroiters in terms of unity as you all have seen it? And is there capacity to do the work that you all are talking about, to do the economic work? Is there a social network, I guess is a better question, intact so that we can do the economic work?
The short answer is yes. I have a core group of people that me and my wife are around. And each one of these people, it's about 17 of them. They're all their own entities, entrepreneurs, doing their own thing. But we come together on a regular basis no matter what. no matter what. One to seven of us is going to support whatever one of us is doing on a regular basis, unconsciously, right? So the answer is yes, and the answer is keep building on that, right? You look at this room. I know probably 20% of the people in the room and want to know the rest on purpose, unconsciously, because that's what it takes. I think we've started this process. Again, it's called collective behavior. Like when I say that, I really mean that. I really mean that that's what it takes to unconsciously do something together without worrying about what the other person or the other entity is getting or doing from it, right? Just focusing on what it is and what it is, where we trying to get. The easiest way to get there is get there together, no matter what.
Some of our panelists have a follow-up comment.
I agree. I agree with everything that he said. We just have to continue to support each other without judgment. If somebody has odds against their brother and sister, you don't have odds with that person. We have to get out of this nonprofit political gangbanging, and the politicians, the political realm has to stop being the focal point for you specifically when it comes to making money. That's not where the money is. Money is not in politics. The money is with the businesses. So if you have a business in your mind, or your friend has a business, support that and start thinking about that, because constantly thinking that you're going to get farther because you reaching into somebody else's pockets is not the answer.
All right, we can do a mic drop on that one. You can clap it up for that. And also give a big round of applause to all of our panelists, Lazar, Diaja, Brandon. Continue to spend your dollars in communities that matter. And thank you again for coming and enjoy the rest of the day.
Oh, I thought we were going to do a last. I would like for everybody to take out their phone and go to www.forprofit, FORPROFIT, for-profit, marketplace.com, and sign up. I made that off the strength. The website is getting created by somebody that's way better than me. But since I was up here, I want y'all to sign up, and I'll keep y'all updated on what's going on with the for-profit marketplace.
They gave me the 30-second cue, so I try to be obedient to time. But where can they find you on social media? Just one, because I know we got 10. TasteOfBlackSpirits.com. Where can they find you on social media?
Biddlesgroup.com, BIDDLES group.com, and then all the socials are there. I can leave this here. This has all the QR codes on here that you can take a picture of. I'll leave this at the table over there. And I appreciate all of your, we can do this together.
All right, State of the People, Power Tour 2025. Thank you all.
Beautiful. Give it up for him, y'all. Now listen, we about to take it up a notch. If you enjoy Peter Poet, oh, y'all taking a picture? Go and take y'all picture. Who taking a picture for me? Chris, you gonna take it? Take the picture for me, Chris. Okay, come on, y'all cute. Now coming to the stage, I'm so excited because this young man has so much power, and not just with his words and his walking and his talking in his community. And I want y'all to give it up for Hakeem, the people's poet. Keep clapping, keep clapping, keep clapping, keep clapping. Keep clapping.
If y'all hear my voice, can y'all clap once? If y'all hear my voice, can y'all clap twice? If y'all hear my voice, can y'all clap 3 times? I know some of y'all hands working. If y'all hear my voice, can y'all clap once? Can y'all clap twice? Can y'all clap 3 times? I really appreciate y'all. So first and foremost, the more energy that you can give the artist, the more energy the artist can give you. I repeat that again. The more energy that you can give the artist, the more energy the artist can give you. So first and foremost, can we say state of the people? State of the people. Can we say state of the people? State of the people. We got to say it like we mean it. Can we say state of the people? State of the people. So I really believe in scream therapy because we are really talking about the states of our people right now. whether it be economic, whether it be through love, whether it's through community, whether it's, because you cannot have a community without communication and unity. Shout out to my big bro Skrill, the one that also invited me to be here. Appreciate Zaza also as well. So first and foremost, can y'all give a round of applause for yourselves? Yeah. I said a round of applause for yourselves. Y'all better act like y'all care about yourselves. So the title of this poem, that I have two pieces for y'all. I have, and it's entitled Sober Spirits and High Minds. Can y'all say sober spirits? Sober spirits. Can y'all say high minds? High minds. Because they say, you know, the sky is the limit, but there's literally a space for us to dream bigger. We are in the times of sober spirits and high minds. I pray these words make sense and profit into your life abundantly, because man has overcame challenges that we thought that weren't possible. And we have faced dooms that we thought that would take our liberty. But honestly, let me tell y'all something, man is still learning. And if you think about it, we are still children, growing old and passing away in theory, but really our species is still young, and over centuries we've lost brothers and sisters. We found enemies through friends. We shared cultures while listening to different tones of dialect. We are gracious for our explorers willing to connect the divine mindset, collecting collective consciousness and serendipitous timing, shining through the dark ages of mankind. We can actually see peace. Can we say peace? Peace. Can we say peace? Peace. Can we say it like we mean it? Can we say peace? Peace. And on the other hand of reality, the darker days are yet to shadow all of humanity. And it's kind of scary to think that. But let's throw away both ideologies. Perspective of what life is, it's what we make it. Can we say it's what we make it? Can we say it's what we make it? Can we say it like we mean it? Can we say it's what we make it? Because based upon every individual living in our now, because we will one day be the later, the remembered, the forgotten, and due to having the option, our bloodline will we last forever here on earth, that is. Believing to be more than just a body and having a mind for a soul, letting go of ourselves just to experience shells of rebirth, metaphorically indifferent to think that we can die from suicide and be gracious enough to feel free. But maybe it's only evidence that no matter what the circumstance is, we have a life to live just to tell our stories. Peace. I'm Hakeem, the people's poet, and rap is an acronym for rhythm and poetry. So, whether this be for the camera or this be for the people, can we say life of contradictions? Life of contradictions. Can we say it like we mean it? Can we say life of contradictions? Life of contradictions. Because we are all going through something. We all are going through something. The reason why we're here is because we are in a state, we want to see change, right? Yeah. Can we say change? Can we say power? Power? I told y'all I cannot be me without y'all. So the more energy that y'all can give the artist, the more energy the artist can give y'all. Because art is whatever the artist says what art is. Can y'all say, God, move me out my own way? God, move me out my own way. Because sometimes we are fighting through life with our hands balled up, fighting through life, and we always asking for a blessing. We want change. Can y'all say change? Can we want power? Can we say power? But we want all this change and we want all this power. We fighting through life, and we can't receive nothing. Can we open our hands? Let's open our hands. Can we all open our hands? And can we say, God, move me out my own way? God, move me out my own way. There are these contradictions in life where people just don't get it. And I don't get it because I still don't have answers to my questions, and most people don't ask questions because their lives are just too busy. So shout out to Jesus for this poem. See, this poem is not about my mental. It's not about everything that I've been through. It's not about my well-being or my heart. It's about the ponderous thoughts of life in this rebuttal. Within time, everything has this denial. Life's very own contradiction is kind of sickening that I think of life and ask questions that most people don't have answers for. So I call upon God and ask, what was I here for? My son, life is this tour. When you learn about yourself and the world around you, you have to learn that this world can infest the perspective. It's just for how you see it. It's just for how you see it. It's just for how you see it, how you see it, how you see it, for it's contradictory. But what is his story? Whoever wrote it made history of what is right. God told me, son, you're on your own. Just listen for what is sent through me. I'm learning. So the more you know, the more problems. Life of contradictions. I got a question for y'all. Can y'all ask me what is it? What is it? I got a question for everybody. Can y'all ask me what is it? What is it? If it was created by the Creator, then it's a true creation. Y'all hear me? If it was created by the Creator, then it's a true creation. But if it was created by the creation, it's merely a creation. But what is creation when it's made over and over again? Come on. To be knowledgeable of knowledge is knowing, but what is wisdom of knowing? Is it the application of knowledge obtained? Perhaps wisdom may presume to be the intelligence of an old age. But who said wisdom can't be from the young? I thought it's whatever strokes from the mind and is birthed from the tongue. See, in this place we call home has to be possessive. Can we say possessed? Possessed. Can we say possessed? It's a demonic way to be possessed to call something your own, because when you die, you're on your own. So why do people need big homes and work hard to be strong for this economy and live wrong? We don't even own. If y'all feeling me, can we all take a deep breath? I need it. We don't even own the air we breathe. Even I exhale. I'm not inhale, I'm exhale. Even I exhale. This world is hell. Have you ever thought fishes of underwater, so why do they come up for air? It's not fair that I'm stuck in a mental state. I have no time to spare. But why does time move fast when having fun but slow when you're bored? Why does defense win games and offense cause scores? Life doesn't cut, but always leaves sores. See, everyone has this same 24/7 with many things to do, but not enough time. Why is there stars in the night sky made to be bright? Even in broad daylight, darkness happens in plain sight. So what is the good life? I'm just going to call this world for what it is. Excuse my language for what it is. Y'all know the word, but life is a... Woo! I say life is a bitch, and the contradictors is worse. For even my birth movie, even my birth was a contradict. So thanks, Pops, for coming before me. My mom told me when she was mad that I wasn't playing, but I still came into the world for life to adore thee. So I smile upon fear. Cheese, when darkness appears. Let me tell y'all something. Life is easier than what it looks like, but it's harder than what it seems. I say life is easier than what it looks like, but it's harder than what it seems. But when I try to explain it like word vomit, trash exit my lips, and I can't elaborate on what it means. Say life of contradictions. No, these life of contradictions. Yes, these life of contradictions gave birth to these wondrous kids. Look at us. We're beautiful. We're beautiful. Can we say change? Change. Can we say power? Power. This is the state of the people. We want change. Can y'all say change? Change. Can y'all say power? Power. It's beautiful. It was just to see it for what it is. Peace. I'm Hakeem, the people's poet. And rap is an acronym for rhythm and poetry. So I really appreciate everybody in this space for allowing me to be me and to be able to speak to you all, because I cannot be me without y'all. I am the people's poet. You can follow me on all platforms at Hakeem the People's Poet. I also teach inner city youth how to communicate and ride horses. I have a couple of connections with Urban City Cowboys and so many different horsemen, even the Buffalo Soldiers too as well. So just through the people that I know, I wanted to be able to expand that network through our people. So y'all can follow me on all platforms. I also host poetry every Wednesday at Poetry in the Park, 12527 Woodward. I am a community activist, so if there's any communities that would like a spoken word artist or some horses or just being able to create new ideas and new innovations for our young people, please tap in with me. I'm on all platforms. Thank you. I'm friendly.
Tap in and get a book from them, y'all. Sow a seed. So how many you got? I got 18. We need 18 of them sold. How many? We got 1, 2, 3. I need 15 more. 14. 13. Oh, cashed out. We cashing out on them. Force Detroit just bought them all. There we go. Okay, go get your book. She said she gonna buy it for you. In the meantime, in between time, I have this next amazing moderator that's coming. Because guess what? I told you that my brother was murdered in prison. But what I didn't tell you is that my father was in prison. What I didn't tell you is that my uncle was in prison too. And what you didn't know is that my other brother was in prison while my other brother was there at the same time. So as a little kid, I would go see my father, right? And I own you, because they owned him at that time, right? And then after we would visit my father, we would go and visit my uncle in the same visiting room. We need a safer community, not just for the people that end up incarcerated, but we need environments so they don't even gotta go there in the first place. See, there's a part before prison, okay? There's a journey before you get to jail. There are steps before you gotta go to court. And so with that being said, this next panel is talking all about a safer Detroit, Community Violence Intervention 101. Not only does this young man speak life into the community, he was also a product of that same environment that did harm to the community. How many of us have had to change a leaf, turn a leaf, right? We had to change from our wicked ways. We had to put some things down so we could pick some positive things up. So I want to bring to the stage, moderating for the Safer Together Community Violence Intervention, the one and only Todd Williams. Clap it up for him, y'all.
Well, I'm glad to see y'all familiar with call and response. I want to share with y'all a greeting. And this is how I try to greet everybody I come past. But the reason I'm sharing it is because this greeting allows us to raise our individual and collective vibration. So before we go into this discussion to talk about solutions and action steps that we can actually take to impact and make our communities better, I want everybody to repeat after me. Peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings.
Love and light.
Love and light.
Love yourself.
Love yourself.
Love your life.
Love your life.
Absolutely. Now remember that. I'm sharing it because I use it. It's so effective that when bill collectors call me and I say peace and blessings, what you think they do? They hang up because they can't handle that energy. That's high vibrational energy. Then they tell y'all, what's the strongest power in existence? Somebody tell me. Love. Love. That's right. Love. The strongest power in existence. Ain't that right? So look, real quick, we're going to bring up our panelists. All of our CVI, that's Community Violence Intervention panelists, please come up. Absolutely. I don't want to do them a disservice, so we're going to allow these folks to introduce themselves as they get to the stage. Please, brother, grab that microphone and introduce yourself to the people.
Brother Phil.
Brother Phil. Give Brother Phil a round of applause. Please.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kania Sims with the movement Stop the Violence Detroit.
First of all, God is ahead of my life. Coach Rob from the movement Detroit. Stop
That's
the
right.
violence.
All right, clap it up. Say it again, brother.
Grace and peace, brother. Urban Peace and Justice Movement, Dignity for Detroit.
So look, with Speak Life, we really lean heavy into capacity building, making sure that people got the skill sets, the technical training, the resources that they need to be able to thrive. Which one? Do we got what's up with the mics? Should I drop it? Here, y'all keep that. So look, we're going to do it like this.
Hello.
We know for a fact, we just heard, CVI is transforming communities. We reducing violent crime by collaborating as members of communities, credible messengers, and implementing ideas that God gave us as individuals. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. So, I'd like to start with everybody just giving a brief what it is that your organization does, and second part, how did you get there? What did you do to get into the work that you're doing? But make it plain so people can understand what can they do to do similar work in their own communities.
Did you want to start?
Yeah, I'll start.
Chris
Thank you all
Ford,
for
everybody, by the way.
Thank you, everybody. I'm Christopher Ford. I'm campaign and advocacy manager for Force Detroit. Anybody heard of Force Detroit? Yeah. So I'm on a panel with individuals that really protect the city, and I represent an organization that does exactly that for community violence intervention. This is an organization that works within the community to give resources, reduce violence in a holistic way, pay for relocation for those that are targeted by violence, and also offer services for the community in regard to workforce development as well too. This is one thing I know everyone's going to clap for. Our organization, along with the other organizations on this panel, has contributed to an 83% crime reduction overall in all 6 CVI zones in the city of Detroit.
That's right. Talk about it.
So it's a pleasure to be here and to work towards getting sustainability for community violence intervention, and thank you all for having us.
Beautiful, beautiful. My name is Brother Phil. I am a gang member. I've been a gang member since I was 8 years old. I brought gangism from Chicago to Detroit, 48205 zip code. Now it's called 4820 die. I did 15 years in prison. I caught my case in the 48205. I live on the very block that I caught my case, and we pushing a peace initiative called 4820 Live.
That's right.
4820 Live, Rahami.
Hey guys, forgive me running back and forth. My name is Myra Denson. Hello everybody. Hello. I am a representative of Righteous Sons, and we have to join forces with this fella next to me because we are also presented in the neighborhoods. We do food giveaways. We also have a rehabilitation for citizens returning back to civilian life or some sort. We help different groups and demographics of mental illness and things of that nature. We also have job readiness programs for the youth. The program I affiliate with is Veterans Helping Hands, and we help our veterans because we know that when you turn 18, if you don't have anything to do, they send you to the military. And once you get to the military for your 5 years of your blank check, you need somewhere to go. And when they come home, they are not represented. And they represent 58 million at this point of just 20, 22-year-olds who have became mass destruction. And they come back to Detroit and still need help finding jobs. So Righteous Sons, we have about 12 different programs, and we help our youth. One of the programs that I love, because I have a black son, is the mentoring program. All mentoring programs need to be present in high schools. I have all teenagers. But thank you guys.
Thank you, Myra.
Thank you. Okay, and our organization is called the Movement Stop the Violence Detroit. And what we do, we bring awareness to violence and also help reduce violence by providing resources, programming for the community and particularly the youth. Our current thing that we're working on right now, we have a mentorship outing that we're doing where we're taking 30 children to the Tigers games. So we just pretty much try to provide things for kids to do to just keep them out of trouble. We also have a program coming up now called the Future Entrepreneurs, where we're working with the youth and teaching them how to become entrepreneurs. And my why is, I grew up in a domestic violent household, so I grew up in a household where seeing someone get shot while you standing there was common. So that just gave me the will and the passion, the power just to fight to help reduce violence, because you shouldn't have to live like that, and children shouldn't have to see things like that. So that's my why.
How you doing? I'm Coach Rob. I'm from Finco in Wyoming. I was a bad guy coming up, doing a lot of stuff, and I came up with 2006 just to change what I did in the community. That's my why. So I got 25 garbage cans from Southfield, the Illinois. If you see trash, pick it up, never give up. So my why is just helping kids, just show them we love them, just do different things and be a better person.
Grace and peace, family. God is good. God is good. All the time. For this is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. For I shall bless the Lord at all times, and his praises shall continually be in my mouth. So the reason why I do what I do, I want to answer your question directly, is because when I gave my life to Christ, 1995, when I got my mind, heart, and spirit right, and I gave my life to Christ, I made a conscious decision to become an eager and serious disciple of Christ as it pertains to living by his precepts, his laws, and his ways. As with all of us, of course, we struggle throughout that process. That's what the Bible says. We strive, right? We strive, which means there's going to be consistent tension and conflict, and it's going to be a process. However, because I committed my life to Christ, and I understand that Christ is the Prince of Peace, right? If Christ is the Prince of Peace, that means all of us who claim to love God must also be about peace, right? If Christ is indeed the ambassador, if he is indeed the ambassador and the spokesperson and the actual enfleshment of God, and God is love, love is also peace, and there is no peace without justice. So when you claim that you love God, that means you must also be an expression of love, an expression of peace, and an expression of justice. So those of us who are spiritual religious, irregardless of our theological orientation, if you claim that you love God, then you have to be about this work of transforming the conditions in our community that doesn't contribute to peace in our lives. Right? So for me, if we claim to love God, and if I claim to love Christ, if I claim to do what Jesus did, then I have to be about the work that Jesus was about. Jesus was all about peace. That's why they called him the ambassador of peace. That's why they called him the Prince of Peace. So when you claim to love Christ, if you claim to believe in Christ, then your actions and your behaviors must speak to what it was that Christ represented, which is peace. Maulana Karenga says we have to be self-conscious agents of our own transformation. In other words, if we're going to fix the conditions in our community, then it's our responsibility to fix it. It ain't the White House job, it ain't the governor's job, it ain't the mayor's job, and it damn sure ain't the white supremacists and white nationalists currently running the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. It's about us as the people changing the conditions in which we find ourselves that was created for us, that we blindly and ignorantly contribute to. So it's all about recognizing and looking in the mirror every day and saying that I'm the solution. I got 5 beautiful babies for which I've taken care of perfectly and flawlessly. I have a responsibility to ensure that they are protected and they live in safe environments. And as a black man, if you're going to be a man, it's your job to be a protector and not a predator. It's your job to be a builder and not a destroyer. It's your job to be a lover and not a hater. It's your job to be peaceful and not violent. It's your job to respect black women, to honor black women, to protect black children, and to honor and protect our elders. So you ask me why I do this, because I ain't got no damn choice. That's right. I can't wake up every day and say I love God, I love myself, I love my people, I love my children, and don't do what's necessary to make sure they're safe every single day I walk on this earth. So I'm here by compulsion. I'm here because I have no choice. I'm here because I absolutely must be here. And I'm here because I love God. Can the church say? Can the church say? That's right. So look, we really want to stay strictly focused on action steps, things that we can do. Can each of you give us one thing that any of us can do right now today to begin to change the narrative in our community?
Keeping it clean. Keeping the community clean.
Elaborate on that a little bit.
As far as we need something clean, feel better when it's clean.
There you go.
I just think, to me, I feel it's working with the youth by just being an example and just giving them things to do. Because if they see us doing the right thing, they'll follow. Because kids, they're like sponges, and you see, they're really followers. So if you're putting them in a negative environment, of course they're gonna do negative things. But we just got to make sure we work with them and just don't throw them away.
I hope somebody taking notes writing these action steps down too, because we really got to implement them.
I would like to add on more what the sister was saying. Our school systems, They're running through the neighborhood as soon as they get out of school at 2:45, 3 p.m. I know that it's a demographic of children that are by you, a group of children that you see running through the neighborhood. Speak to them. Say hi to them. Say that we see you. You know, you are our future. Please speak to the kids coming home from schools. That's what I would add. Church programs, I keep mine in all of the programs. The football industry, everybody that goes and buys tickets, speak to the children, you know, speak to the coaches, because most of them are not being paid. So it starts in our community.
So I think thank you, sisters, and I value and appreciate what you guys offered. I think you're right. I think you're right on, and I appreciate you, brother, for that very simple, fundamental, basic answer to what we can do. Because I think sometimes as community folks, we start thinking too lofty, right? And we think that we absolutely have to belong to an organization, or we have to start our own organization. That's just not the case. Remember, Karinga says, be a self-conscious agent of your own transformation. So that means let's start with simple things that we can actually do on our own block, right? Making sure the grass is cut. You know how many black girls are raped and violated in the high grass? Cut the grass. Cut the grass on your block so that the babies, when they walk back and forth to school, they're thrown in that grass by some of these lames out here looking to violate and victimize black girls. Right? Let's start with cutting the grass, making sure the grass is low and is respectable and is decent, so that our children are raised seeing that our environments and our communities are beautiful and they're safe environments and communities in which they deserve to live as God's children, right? Number two, what you can do, if you got abandoned houses on your block, then board them up. Board up the abandoned houses, paint them and clean them up. Right? These are very, very basic things. If you have children that go to school in the morning, they walk back and forth, they pass your house. Hey, what about this? Organize your block. Organize your block and say, hey, every night we're going to cut our street lights on. Every morning at 6 o'clock, we all going to wake up, stand on our porch to make sure the babies that pass through our way are safe. Those are simple things, right? Take a simple assessment of the babies on your street. Find out what of-age children can't read at a 3rd and 4th grade reading level, or who can't do math at an 8th grade level at the appropriate ages, and tutor them, help them. Teach black babies how to read and how to do math, because the data says that black boys, or adult black males, and young adult black males who don't read at a 3rd and 4th grade reading level are destined to go to penitentiary or to commit crime. It also says that black boys who are at a young adult age level, or older teenagers, if they can't do math at an 8th grade level, they're destined, right, to go to prison or to commit crime. So if we know these things, then let's respond to that data and fix these things. These are things that grandma can do, right, that baby mama can do, right, that little brother and little sister do, that baby daddy can do, that girlfriend and boyfriend living together can do, that husband and wife can do, that granddaddy can do, that auntie and uncle can do. These are things that we can do. And then let me finish it with this. The most powerful organization in the black community is two. It's a block club and a neighborhood patrol group. Right? The data shows that neighborhood patrol groups in communities reduces crime by 75%. So if the data says that this is the case, the first thing you need to do is start a block club. I started one of the biggest block clubs in the city of Detroit, Horton, Bethune, Custer, and Oakland. It started off as Horton Street on the north end. Start a block club, right? Then after you start that block club and you start organizing your neighbors, then you start a community defense team or a community patrol group. These are simple things that you can do. You ain't got to have no big name, no big announcement. You don't have to belong to 5 million organizations. You ain't got to have a whole bunch of money. This is stuff that y'all can go home and initiate right now. Yes. That's what you do.
Talk about it. Chris?
Yeah, I think one of the most important things is one word: intentionality. We need to be intentional.
That's right.
A lot of stuff is performative. We're in the nonprofit space where there's a lot of organizations that are really doing good work, but they're not, number one, they're not getting the funding. But two, when the funding is given, we need to be way more targeted on making sure that we affect these kids from a structural level. Education, like we're the wealthiest country in the nation, and the majority of our kids don't have health care, barely have any food to eat. And if we're looking to make this change, like we're an organization that's led by DeJuan Zoe Kennedy, and he's a complete representation of not only intentionality, but making sure that Maslow's hierarchy of need is being implemented within our ecosystem. In other words, food, clothing, shelter. We got to make sure that we are pouring dollars into the community in a way so that their lives are being affected from the bottom up. And as far as the lives that we've been able to actually alter and or change and save, it's as simple as, oh, you need food. Oh, you need housing. Oh, you need clothing. Okay. Oh, you need to be relocated. Oh, you need something to help your mother with. At the end of the day, we need to be way more intentional and be way more focused, because we have an administration right now that is 100% cutting anything that supports black people. So if that's the case, we all in this room have to be intentional in making sure that our dollars are staying within our community and we're supporting our community, bottom line.
Absolutely. Appreciate that. Now, we know that being in service is very gratifying, and it can be very rewarding as well, but it also comes with a lot of mental toll, physical toll, and so forth and so on. What is one thing that you may personally do or that you have recognized somebody else do to help keep themselves balanced and grounded and mentally clear to be able to continue to do the work to encourage others?
Oh, you want me to have two mics? Oh, you got one?
He got one.
Oh, you got one.
Hi, with our representatives from Righteous Sons, we often are in the community and we ask them, what can we do to serve you? When we are speaking with anyone we come in contact with, we give them the website and we let them know that, hey, if we can offer you a prayer, we can get you past this moment. So we do offer readiness for programs, readiness for jobs. And I like yoga. I always please always take a time to meditate so you can get through your situation. But anybody in the program, you can reach out to Righteous Sons. We will reach out back to you within 48 hours to find out what is exactly what you need and to remedy the problem you may have. Those 4 problems are the core problems in our neighborhoods. Where you're gonna live, where you're gonna work, how you're gonna feed yourself and your family, and voting education.
All right, that's good. Okay, and for myself, I'm speaking. This is the good one. For me, because that's one thing. This work, it can be overwhelming, it can be stressful, because it's 24 hours a day. Like, you might do 3-4 events in one day. So it do get tiresome and stressful at times. But for me, what I like to do, I like to take walks, and that really just calm my mind and just help me relax. So that's what I do for myself. And as far as helping others, me and my husband, we offer one-on-one coaching. So like when someone needs to talk, like he really like a counselor. We be at home, his phone rings all day, sometimes in the middle of the night. People call him, I said he gonna be a pastor, call him for advice. But yes, we just talk to people and help them. And that's what we do to help others.
What I do as far as just get my mind together, I go play basketball to clear my mind, do other stuff with my grandkids. But the other question, how we help people, we have one-on-one with them, we pray with them, and just, help people and do it from the heart. Just don't talk about it, be about it.
Okay.
Brother Phil, please. Go ahead, Chris. Let Phil go.
Yeah, for sure.
Get away from the delusion that healing is possible or that you can overcome a fire and your hand's still in it. I was in a training about trauma-informed care, and they offended me because they kept talking about healing when we had just had 2 children killed at Foot Locker. A young lady, 20 years old, brains blew out the night before. So for me, I don't want to heal. I want to stay on the edge. I want to stay motivated, right? I'm burning, man. My hand is on fire. You talking about heal your hand. It ain't no confidence how the work is done. 83% reduction, yay, it's great, it's good. It's not enough.
That's right.
Whether it's 10 children or 1 child, it's all bad. So I see comfort when the work is done.
There you go. So, and to elaborate on that, if you don't mind, brother, that's equivalent to allowing the pain to push you forward.
Say it, brother.
You see what I'm saying?
And that's how we help others. Use your story. Use every traumatic thing because somebody is experiencing that thing.
Right.
Right? So I come from gang violence. I use my voice, my experience to counter gang violence, right?
Absolutely.
So that's how we help others. Use your trauma for purpose.
Understand healing is a process, right? So
Talk
healing-
about that.
So healing is not an episodic event. It's a perpetual mode and pattern of behavior that you have to execute daily in your life, right? So we are forever healing. It's sort of like a brother and sister in recovery. No one says that they're recovered. What you say, we're always in recovery, right? We're always overcoming. We're always rehabilitating ourselves. It's a constant process. So what we have to learn how to do, to Brother Phil's point, and I love that you said that, Brother Phil, is that we have to learn, because I also understand the Sims, brother and sister Sims as well, they're correct. We have to learn how to manage the stress and the trauma and the hurt and the pain while we're in the middle of the battle. So what I like to do, what I do, is I understand that it don't stop, won't stop, can't stop. So therefore, I don't stop, won't stop, can't stop, and I'm always pressing and pushing forward and putting in the work. I'm like my brother, I'm available 24/7, right? You never know when you got to step out and intervene and mitigate a situation and possibly save somebody's life. So we have to avail ourselves of that. So what I do is that I fast and pray. I fast and pray consistently. I do intermittent prayer. I started doing this when I started doing this next iteration of the work that I'm involved in. I fast 19 hours every day. Even on my bad days, I fast 12 hours every day, right? So that's important for me. That's what sometimes I go 38, 42 hours, 46 hours, right? 72 hours. Depends on how the Spirit leads me. So that prepares me and equips me with the spiritual, emotional, and psychological resources I need to be able to manage unforeseen occurrences that we know will absolutely come our way while doing this work. So for me, it's not about healing. It's about engaging the process of healing, right? It's not about being healed, rather, but engaging the process of perpetual healing. And it's also learning how to manage the stress and the mess while you are in the middle of it, and learning how to employ tools that help build your mind, heart, and spirit to deal with what you know is inevitable to come, right? It's an inevitability that these crises and that this trauma and that this pain and this hurt is going to come at us, and we're charged and tasked by God to deal with it. So now we have to depend on God's tools and resources to equip us to do the work that God has called us to. And the scriptures are clear. What are those tools? Fasting and prayer.
Now, that's interesting that you say tools, because the next question I was going to ask revolves around tools. Beyond the divine resources that we have at our ability, those tangible resources that the divine allows us to have access to, what are some of the most beneficial tools that each of us, or that you use currently, in order to be able to get the work done in mobilizing, in connecting, in coalition, in community, in partnership, in love for the ones you serve?
Did you want to go? Okay, I can go first. So basically, the tools that we use, we are like very, very resourceful. Like, our organization don't have a ton of money, we don't get a ton of grants, but we just know how to go out and make things happen. Like, we're good at networking, we're good at building relationships, so we're able to get a lot of things done without really having that big support like, you know, most large organizations would. So, yeah, so basically, just having networking, building relationships, and having resources within our community.
Thank goodness we have social media because we're not going to reach us all. We have someone that answers all our 24-hour calls that say, hey, this is in your department. Our director, Mr. Olive, is great at telling people to get on their job. So you guys, he will. And social media, and of course we're all parents, so we can reach each other.
Okay. So yeah, really quick, Chris, because what I'm hearing social media, right? But you know what else I'm hearing? I'm hearing organizing as a tool to be able to get things accomplished. We got to be able to organize our time. We got to be able to organize our resources. We got to be able to organize our energy and then prioritize. Please, Chris.
Yeah, now I'm going to say the most obvious one. That's money, obviously, but let me lean into that a bit. Money will fuel what it is you want to do. It's just not going to change your intention of what you plan on doing and what you are implementing anyway. Force Detroit, we are privileged and we are blessed to be able to be in the schools now. So we're in Cody High School right now, and we're there several days a week. We're doing one-to-ones with the children. We're doing one-on-ones with the parents. We're having conversations about what their self-interests are, what they need, what is the root cause of violence, what they see is the root cause of violence, educating them on advocacy, how to connect to your local legislators, how to connect to your state legislators, the importance of utilizing your tool, which is your voice, to actually vote and bring people in that support you and vote out the people who don't support you. So in regard to the tool is always money, but the most important tool, I talk about intentionality. If it's in your goal to make sure that you have structural change being implemented, you do it from the school level, you do it from the community level. Our violence interrupters, they're in 48227, 48228. They're building relationships with those that are affected by violence. And if in the event there's a situation that they're needed, they're there to support them. So it's a holistic approach. You just can't have one piece. You should make sure that all pieces are being supported, and obviously that's done by money.
Okay.
Amplifies.
Hello? Okay. Mine mainly is you got to be a man of action, a woman of action. I've been doing it since 06, so I don't even know where the money come from, but it come from God, but we've been doing it out of our pocket since 06. And people see you doing stuff, they see you doing it, man of action, women of action, and people follow suit. Everything is contagious. So when you're doing good stuff, people start following you and stuff just start working out. That's right.
That's true.
Real fast. For me, it would be people. I opened up, I'm a gang member for a reason. I could have said executive director of this, that, father, author, artist, but I want you to know that, so when the brother spoke of a block club, that's not just Miss Jones, and that's Pookie, that's Ray Ray, that's Lil Booby. When you're doing collective community stuff, you gotta make them involved. Me and the guy was sitting in my driveway, and the dude cut through the lot, and he panicked. I say, that's my man. He say, I say, yeah. He live right up the street. And nothing and I live in the hood, nothing is locked up. If you want to come use a lawnmower to make some money, do that. It will keep you from stealing to get some money, right? So power to the people.
Yeah, I'm with you, Brother Phil. I appreciate everything that's been said. I think all the answers are absolutely correct. I want to go back to the importance of building power. That's your greatest resources, right? We have to build power in our own communities, and it starts with us presenting an organized institutional front, which starts with what? How do we organize ourselves? Block clubs. I'm telling you, the power is in block clubs. When you have a block club and it's registered with the city, that means all of your elected officials are compelled and bound by you having events that require their participation. When you are a block club and you have meetings, you now formally can send out invites, right, and demand the presence of your city council member, demand the presence of your county commissioner, demand the presence of your state rep, demand the presence of your state senator, demand the presence of your congressional leaders, right, your federal senators and your congresspersons, right? When you have an organization and you start building power with numbers and effective work, create a reputation that these folks are compelled to have to recognize. And once they recognize it, then they have to engage it, right? And once you have an organization, I wish I had people from the Rosedale Neighborhood Association here, and I got Brother Terrence Wheeler back there. Once you have these kinds of, this kind of reputation and this kind of organization, you can then apply for what? Block grants. You can then begin to apply for monies and resources that are available to formal organizations to help you fuel and research the work in your community. The greatest tool you have, I say this all over the country, I say this to mentees all over the country, man, organize your block. Yes, organize your block. Then we have to do what the Panthers modeled for us. We have to create political education models where we start politicizing brothers and sisters in the hood so they can understand how voting directly impacts their existential reality in their particular communities. This is what we have to do, family, so I'm begging you, I'm beseeching you, brethren and sisters, right, that when you go home, the first thing you do is look on the city's website and identify where the toolkits are and what you need to do to begin to form, right, a formal block club organization. And then watch this. Once you got a block club, then your homie on the next street starts a block club, and your sister on the next street starts a block club. Then you build a neighborhood association. When you got a neighborhood association, right, depending on how you choose to classify your organization as far as tax law is concerned, you then can possibly create what we call a political slate or a political platform, right? So then candidates now have to come through you to get an endorsement, which then gives you even more power. When you go from the block club to the neighborhood association level, you are now a major power player in your area of the city, and elected officials begin to understand that if they want votes in your area, they got to come through you, right?
Absolutely, very good. CVI, Community Violence Intervention, for the city of Detroit has been an absolute game changer in so many ways. It's allowed individuals who didn't have a space to navigate in to become credible messengers, to become advocates, to become organizational directors, et cetera, et cetera. In real time, how can we, not just as organizations, but how can we as members of the community employ other members of the community to really expand the work in lieu of lack of resources, and to be able to build up a power base using what we already have?
So I kind of little disagree that CVI allowed those things. I think we've been those things.
That's true.
Yeah, I think we can't lose focus of the fact that CVI, which grew out of GVI, was never taken care of by the powers that be. That's kind of an oxymoron. We fueled it ourselves because he who provides the bag provides a mode of control, right? So I even listened to one of the panels they give and they take, when we gonna break that cycle? We have to generate the funds. 4820 Live, we got 23 block clubs, they all chip in, and the power again is to the people. If you keep feeding me, and I keep depending on you, begging on you, it go away when the office change, a new president, we gotta beg this new president. That's not the way. That is not the way. The way is in the will of the people. Barbecues, man. Candy store at the back door. Polar sausage on the corner. T-shirts, cutting grass, braiding hair, right? On a community collective level, we all supporting what each other doing. 4820 Live is not dependent upon government funding and never will be.
Amen. Look, a round of applause for all the panelists, please.
Thank you.
We gonna land right there on Brother Phil Plain, because we gotta get back to community. We gotta get more involved. You thought you was involved, get more involved. We gotta respect and honor the ideal of having agency in what's happening in our communities. And having a handout is only gonna get it cut off. We done seen it over and over again. So, with that being said, peace and blessings. I ain't hear y'all. With that being said, peace and blessings. Love and light. Love yourself and love your life. Let's change our community, y'all, with action. All power to the people.
Okay, don't forget y'all need to take a picture. Don't hop off there. Don't jump off the porch yet. Don't jump off the porch yet. Don't jump off the porch yet. Now listen, y'all. Listen, I know y'all hungry, y'all tired. Listen, we got dinner for y'all. Free dinner. Y'all want to eat? Okay. We got some hibachi. Okay. But before we feed y'all, we got one more. We got Michael Eric Dyson. Dr. Michael Eric Dyson in the building. We got the one and only Jalen Rose in the building. Of course, you already know we got Starsky Wilson in the building, Children's Defense Fund, and that's going to be moderated by the one and only David Johns. So if we can get the state of the people, first 100 days. State of the people, first 100 days. And after we do this panel for our first 100 days and our black paper town hall, not towel, we gonna have dinner. Is that okay? Y'all gonna have dinner with me? Y'all gonna have dinner with me? All right, cool. Can I get David Johns? David Johns. David Johns. David Johns to the mic. Clap it up for David Johns. Clap it up.
All right, black people. So I'm not up. I was actually going to go get the panelists in this moment. So just take a moment to find a friend, and we'll be back in 2 and 2.
If we can get Angela to the mic.
Reverend Starsky with the Children's Defense Fund, we need you on the stage. Dr. Dyson, perfect, thank you. So in this moment, while we have a little bit of attention, I want to highlight our black papers. Can everybody say black papers? Black paper! Everybody say black paper? Black paper! Typically in spaces like this, I appreciate the energy, right here, right here. Typically in spaces like this, we are assigned to do things and write white papers, but because we celebrate that everything that has ever existed has come from Africa, we do things centering B, black with a capital B. And so what we'll be talking about in the next 2 panels before we clear the way for food is our black paper research project. If you go to our website right now, this is a screenshot of our website, and you click this link right here, Black Papers. I don't know if y'all can do this right now. Can you click this for me as a shoe? No? Brother, in the back? Yep. Can you control this? No, got it. All right, so if y'all go to your phones, because you have computers on you right now, go to stateoftheppl.org. You got it. See, look, teamwork. So if you click this page, you'll get a note that has come from me, and then if you scroll, what you'll see is that we have uploaded a number of policy papers on a range of topics. So we started with papers highlighting there's an introduction to the project. We started then with the top 5 policy issues affecting black people. Anybody want to guess what the top 5 issues affecting black people are nationally? Nobody want to guess? Health, that's number 1. Economics, that's number 2. Incarceration is not top 5, but that's close, but we could count that in public safety. Not enough entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurship is important. That's not one of the top 5, but we are introducing a paper today. Education is close to the top 5. Yep. Appreciate y'all. Y'all got the top 5. Economy, healthcare, public safety. Public safety can be broken into anti-policing or state-sanctioned violence more generally, and then education. Those are the top 5. Today we are releasing 4 papers, and one of those papers is on entrepreneurship. So the very last panel we'll have today, which will include Arian Simone of the Fearless Fund, Melissa Butler, Detroit's own Melissa Butler of the Lip Bar. We'll talk specifically about entrepreneurship and some of the connections to our conversations around the environment. But I just want you to know that this resource exists. And once we're done with this project, excuse me, thank you, pardon my back, we will have more than 30 policy papers that will be made available for use. And so at the end of this project, if there's a policy issue that is important to you that you don't see reflected, let me know. I'll share my email address now when I'm on the panel, but let me know. If there's another way that we can make this useful for you, for example, we've developed a toolkit for faith leaders and people of religious tradition so that they can break down some of the principles in each of the papers and include them in their sermons or in the programs. We'll do something similar for educators at every level, acknowledging that we have at least 4 papers on education. One of the papers we're releasing today is on black men in higher education. There are 2 papers on post-secondary education on the site now, one on post-secondary education generally, and then the other focus is on the sites where black people show up at community colleges like this one, online and in digital learning spaces, as well as at our historically black colleges and universities. So again, just want you all to know that this resource exists, and if there are ways that we can make it more useful for you, please, please, please let us know. I promise you I will share my email address. Y'all ready for it? It's D, and then my last name, John. So if you scroll to the bottom of this letter, you'll see, no, I went too fast, that's all right. djohns@nbjc.org. djohns@nbjc.org. The spelling of my name is on the paper, and if you can't find it, if you go to About Us, you'll find more info. But I'll do this again. I'm gonna moderate the Black Paper Project Town Hall. Yes, ma'am, Queen. Yeah, well, I mean, we here, we feeling. This is what they call feeling. If y'all didn't know, that's what I'm doing. So yeah, ask your question. Hold on, say it so people can hear.
I have a radio show. It's called The Queen Hour, and it's based on love and unity. And I want to interview all your panel so we can get the word out and continue this work. And it's based on love and unity and helping one another. It's at 160 Victor Street, 88.1 FM. R.J. Watkins, R.J. Jr. It's our community in Highland Park. We turn up and pull up every Sunday. Every Sunday at 6 p.m. And we turn up and pull up on love and unity, not drugs, alcohol, and cigarettes that's killing us.
I never met a person that died because of love and unity. So give her a round of applause for that work and their leadership. I see Ari in there. We're going to get this going. Anybody else have a resource or a program like that? I'm sorry. Yep, because I'm in the way of somebody's communication. Let's be as expansive as we can. Anybody else have a resource to share? Nope. Okay, I appreciate it. Yes, ma'am.
I heard a lot of the panelists speak about getting people involved as far as voting. The organization that I work for, that is what we do. We do civic engagement work, voter education, voter registration. We've been in maybe about 15 Detroit public schools, getting high schoolers registered to vote. Last year, the state of Michigan passed a law for us to pre-register 16-year-olds because they're old enough to work, so we can now pre-register 16-year-olds, so when they turn 18, they don't have to worry about getting out and registering themselves. They'll already be pre-registered. So I represent an organization called Civic 360. We are a for-profit business. I do also represent a nonprofit, because sometimes in this work you have to be classified as a nonprofit organization for the nonpartisan work that we do. Last year, my organization, we registered 12,000 people in the city of Detroit to vote. That included about 500 high school students. So I do have business cards. If anyone is in need of voter education, voter registration, civic engagement, assistance, and advocacy, that is what my team does, and we're real good at it.
Tell us, stand up, do me a favor, if you can't stand, and then share with us your name, the name of the organization, and how we can contact you.
Okay, my name is Charity Whitaker. The organization that I work for is Civic 360, and y'all can just call me. I give my personal phone number out. I never know when somebody's gonna call me for anything else.
Fran, we need to get you a Google number.
A
Google number, so you don't have to give out your personal number.
Okay, well, until we get Google Voice.
Hold on, so wait, because this is being live streamed and filmed. I don't want you to do that.
Okay.
We're laughing about it, but we live in an era where there are people who seek to do us harm, who show up in our spaces.
Wait, I do have another number, but I like people. I'm personable.
And love that, but also let's make sure you're safe.
Okay, let me do, hold on.
For everybody, while she's doing this, we can talk about the challenges with multinational conglomerates like Google, but in this moment, they offer resources like Google Numbers. You can go to googlenumber.com or whatever, I think it's .com, and sign up for a telephone number that will ring to your phone. Such that this was really useful for my students, especially young girls. Give people a Google number because you can change that without having to go through the hassle of changing your actual phone number. So use Google for if you're working for somebody and they're not providing you with a cell phone, get a Google number.
I appreciate that. I never thought about the safety portion of it. But my fake number is 313-364-0093.
Do it one more time, slow.
Okay, it's 313-364-0093. And again, my name is Charity Whitaker. I work for Civic 360, and we do a lot of work in the community. We planted maybe 20 trees on Mother's Day weekend in a space that we're transforming into a community park. We just purchased 3 vacant lots to turn into a farm. Since the city of Detroit is now allowing us to have chickens and ducks, we're about to bring some of those things to the neighborhoods that we live in so that we can help to cultivate our children around things that they need exposure to.
That's right.
Okay.
And so we're not relying upon companies and corporations. This is how we survived, and so this is what we'll need to do. Let's do this. The DJ is going to play a little bit of music. It'll be like a little bit of musical chairs. When the music stops, we're going to start with the panel. This is called being flexible, one of the first things I learned doing work in DC. So the DJ is going to play music. When we come back, we're going to start the program, and then I'll take your 2 questions at the beginning of that. If I forget, just look at me like this, give me the mama eyes like y'all doing right now, and then it'll come back to me. The trauma will come back to me. All right, thank y'all for being flexible. Thank you, DJ. All right, y'all, come on, take your seats so we can get started. We want to honor that time is the most precious resource we have. You cannot get it back. Let's try this one. That's got a little bit more bass in it. Y'all give it up for the artist formerly known as Prince. I know we're not in Minnesota. No, that wasn't. I played with it. Give it up for Prince. See? That's what I'm saying. Minneapolis. Telling black people occupy all spaces. We're going to go ahead and get this town hall started. If you're looking at, as soon as we get to questions, I'm coming to you and my sister.